Production Racing Championship. It's a beautiful day in Taupo, and we've got some sensational racing. The complete Tier 1 Championship, as well as the A1 GP. But we are focusing on the third round of the KPMG New Zealand Production Car Championship. Same venue, different track, spitting up a whole new set of challenges for the production races.
Simon, you ran on this track last year. The track's changed. Do you like it?
Yeah, no, I think it's changed for the good. Taking out that real tight bit in the middle is probably an improvement. The corner they put in there is very, very tricky, I have to admit, and I haven't managed to master that.
Qualified on pole for the first race, so you're looking forward to a good one?
Yeah, I think just get a good start and keep it clean and let everyone else fight and try to get a bit of a gap.
Driving the Evo round here in relation to Toyota, totally different style?
Yeah, just the corner speed after about 10 laps of a Toyota, you're pretty much necking these things. You sort of nice power steering. You've got a luxury compared to a single-seater, I think.
And returning to the championship in the Winger Subaru, Todd Bowden.
Todd, you've been out in the car. How does the car feel?
We struggled in the first practice, but we had a lot of understeer and we got it dialed in for the second, but the thing's fast, yeah, and it's a great car, and looking forward to it, yeah.
So here's how they line up on the grid for the first race of 3 for this weekend, the third round of the championship. Dale Williams on pole, followed up by the bridesmaid Rudekirk, Borden and McKelvey, making up the first 2 rows of the grid. And joined in the booth I am now by Lindsay Dodd, series coordinator for the KPMG production series, often racing. Always great to be on pole at this track, isn't it, Lindsay?
Yeah, I think Dale's going to have a great advantage being on pole, but the top 8 cars all within a second of each other in qualifying.
And what are you expecting from the cars on this track? We've seen A1 GP cars have great difficulty passing. Is it going to make much of a difference with the production races?
I think so. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities for the production cars, and certainly we will see a lot of passing. Jim Bolt making a move there on Andrew Fox.
And a new contestant there making a move on the inside. We've got a couple of new drivers, haven't we, Lindsay?
Yeah, that's Tony Burrows there in the 97 version 10 WRX. Tony's joined the series, as has Stephen Taylor in a Richard Mason prepared Subaru.
Okay, let's look at the leaders so far. Dale Williams comfortably out front in the Ray Glass Boats car from Auckland, and he is followed by, having a stretch,
Scott McKelvey there in the Evo 6. Great start from Scott, who's heading off Simon Skeets, who's the series leader.
So Williams, McKelvey and Skeets, that is 1, 2, 3. Of course, line astern at the moment. Pretty careful around the track in the initial couple of laps. First time they've been under race situation in this new track.
On board with Kevin Honus, who's in 6th place there, getting great shots coming up round past the old club rooms.
Of course, that is the remodelled corner a lot of them have been talking about as you come up to the nice big left-hand sweeper, which leads the car side by side onto the back straight. This is going to be some entertaining racing now.
Yeah, position change there for 2nd place with Simon Skeets getting up the inside of Scott McKelvey.
Yeah, it's going to be a great race coming down to the very end. Who's going to be bravest under brakes? You'd say the way Skeets has been driving this year, it's going to be him, and here he goes later on the brakes coming into that first left-hander.
Yeah, Scott McKelvey probably lost a bit of drive out of that top corner there.
As we advance the race up to lap 4, nice battle here for 7th and 8th. Newcomer Burrows up against Nathan Coe. He's surrounding him around that corner, and now he's turned him around completely. The stewards may have something to say about that as Nathan Coe backs up onto the green stuff. Terrible for Nathan.
Yeah, really lost out there coming around the corner, and we see Sam Murray coming up to almost take him through turn 3.
And Sam Murray's a name we haven't heard for a while. As we look back at the replay there, and yeah, a little nudge behind from Coe. Who's in the wrong, who's in the right, or is that just a racing incident?
I'd say the driving standards men will be looking at that pretty closely.
And we're going to look closely at the leaderboard. Still pretty much the same. Dale Williams out there in the Ray Glass Evo. Comfortable lead over Skeets and McKelvey. Further ahead in the race, still with a comfortable lead there in lap 6, the Ray Glass Evo. The number 2 car of Dale Williams out of Auckland. And here's someone going for a bit of a rock out in the grass, Lindsay.
Yeah, see Logan Charles there coming to the infield with damage on Tony Burrows' car as well. So they've had to come together.
Out in front again with Dale Williams in the Ray Glass Evo. Very comfortable for him. As he said, Lindsay, at the start of the race, I'm on pole, get out there, let the other boys fight behind me. It should be comfortable. He's proved that to be true here.
He's had a good clean run right at the front of the field. The others behind have been scrapping, and certainly we've seen Simon Skeets come through into 2nd place, and it's been positions pretty much held through the remainder or the last part of this race.
Got a very, very big lead over 2nd place, Simon Skeets. What do you attribute that to?
It's just been a great consistent run from Dale, and certainly Simon and Scott McKelvey have been dicing there, and they often hold each other up as a result of that.
Not a lot of action at the front of the field. We've seen quite a bit to the middle of the field, though, and Tony Burrows definitely raising a few eyebrows with his style, if you could call it that.
Yeah, words coming through also. The drivers the officials are going to look at that and suggest that he may not hold that position on the racetrack when the results are posted.
So through the corkscrew and looking peachy as well, Dale Williams and the Ray Glass Evo resplendent in blue, and he takes the checkered flag for the first up of 3 races at the A1 GP weekend at the Taupo Motorsport Park. Let's take a look now at the final results for that first race. Dale Williams in the Evo, number 1. Simon Skeet, Scott McKelvey, Trevor Rudekirk making up the top 4, followed by Honus, Borden, he's back, Biggin and Westall.
Scott, looks like you got a great start.
Yeah, it was excellent. We were second for the first couple of laps.
Later on in the race, you're coming under a lot of pressure from Simon. Did you think you could hold him out?
Yeah, he actually got me on about the third lap, I think, and Trevor Rudekirk then started to put the pressure on, so I just had to block my line and held him out, so it was good.
Dale, great qualifying, great race for you.
Yeah, for the first practice yesterday, we were betting in brakes, so we were sort of off the pace a bit, and the next run we tried something out of the blue, and it didn't really work, but we're still there, and then for qualifying we went back to our Ruapuna setup, and it took off.
Here's the grid for the second race. This is Friday afternoon based on the finishing positions from race 1. So Dale Williams on pole, Simon Skeets at the front row of the grid, McKelvey and Rudekirk making up the second row. Lindsay, they are off and racing for this very first left-hander. It's going to be pretty exciting stuff as we're on board with Jim Bolt and the Cobb & Co. Beamer car 5-5.
Oh, David Pinkerton there, stationary on the grid too.
And a very fast Burrows down the outside. Let's take a look at this first corner and the jostle for the lead. And it looks like Simon Skeets has taken out Williams. That's a great manoeuvre. He's passed him into first place, and Rudekirk coming up to third as well.
Yeah, damage there on Kevin Honus's car as he comes up beside his colleague Taupo.
So a successful start there for Simon Skeets, of course, series leader. We want to keep that intact as we go through the 3 races in Taupo. If we get back up to the lead cars again, and yep, Simon Skeets over Williams. This is great racing to start this second race. And Rudekirk there getting a little twisted, a little sideways through there as the drivers get used to the track. This is race 2. It is a new track. And did we see the lap times come down? Are we seeing the lap times coming down? We'll just have to wait to the end of the race. The leaders have concertinaed themselves up, very familiar. Skeets, Williams and Rudekirk there powering along, although Skeets wouldn't be getting too comfortable the way Williams has been driving this year. That is our top 3 so far. Let's drag back into the field a wee bit and find out the battles for the lesser places, because time and time again, Lindsay, it seems to be the better one. Here we go.
Scott McKelvey up around the outside of Kevin Honus and Todd Borden trying to get in there.
3 wide coming through that huge left-hand sweeper onto the drag strip now. Right, who has got the horsepower? We're on board now with Kevin Honus. Thank you very much, Harcourts. Looking reasonably comfortable. Hey, McKelvey on the outside in car number 27. He's out-dragged him.
Here comes Nathan Coe.
Make that to the power of 2. This is sensational stuff. Now heavy on the brakes as they go left. Very, very heavy. It's tight through there.
More contact there from Kevin Honus. Oh, what a save from Scott McKelvey.
And Scott McKelvey, of course, be pleased he's powering through all 4 wheels, or he could have been all over the shop then. That is sensational racing, and it carries on as we see Sam Murray getting slightly sideways too, coming into the start-finish straight. This is great racing, Lindsay.
Yeah, fantastic racing. Look at David Westall there in the Scooters Direct Evo 8. That car, of course, won the championship with the hands of Ross Thurston last year.
Simon Skeets, his rear vision mirror absolutely full with Dale Williams. Dale is trying anything he can to get past that Amiga rental car's car, and he's gone on the inside. That's experience. That is classic racing. That's all the skills you want to see.
Yeah, fantastic drive there from Dale. Good experience, as you said. And poor old Simon will probably wonder what happened there as he dived up on the inside.
He washed a bit of speed off there as well, which helped him get back as we repeat the incident with Scott McKelvey hanging on with all of his life. Just dumps the boot in the grass, but 4 on the floor made it A-OK for young McKelvey. That is competitive.
Still going here in car with on Kevin Honus's car, looking at another view.
Very hairy moment as well at the end of that straight. They have to wash off a heap of speed as they get down there. Back up toward the leaders now, although Williams has definitely got a great lead on the rest of them as we're in car with Jim Bolt in his Beamer.
Yeah, lonely old second place for Jim in Class A. Certainly having a great run in the car. The car's going a lot better than it was at Ruapuna.
Yeah, from what we've seen so far, there is unlikely to be knocked off the track, but running by himself, as he is, and Williams again with that huge lead. And is Rudekirk getting awfully close to sniffing the exhaust of the Amiga rental car, Sudi? I think he is.
I'd say he is. I wouldn't be surprised if he dives out one. Oh, Scott McKelvey's lost the wheel.
And that may have been incurred earlier on in the piece as the lone rubber wanders across the terra firma. Looks like it's all over for Skeets. Kevin Honus on board now.
You're coming down through the corkscrew onto the start-finish line for 6th place, so let's just have a listen for a moment, Darcy.
pumice dust being ripped up and spread all over the track. Competitors got to be very careful. That makes for slippy racing.
Yeah, they bring that on the track. There's a lot of dust they can bring on the track. It's very dry here at the moment, so they will be concerned about that. I'm sure the officials will be looking closely.
Let's go back on tape and check out the problem Scott McKelvey encountered. And there's his left front wheel parting company from the car, and it looks like that's going to bounce either straight over or straight on the marshals. That's very tight. That's a scary moment. If that had happened in traffic, you never know what could have occurred.
Yeah, a couple of the marshals taking a bit of evasive action as well.
And evasive action is what Dale Williams is taking too. He's tearing out in the lead. This car's got extra horsepower, extra handling. Something is going very, very right for the Ray Glass car.
You look at Trevor Rudekirk though in third place, getting very, very close to Simon Skeets as well.
And Simon Skeets maybe a little gun-shy after the way he was passed by Williams earlier on the piece. He might be concentrating on the car behind as opposed to the track ahead, and that's dangerous time.
Yeah, interesting. Couple of different lines there from Skeets and from Rudekirk as well, so interesting to see how they pan out as they come out that corner.
Looks like Skeets got the better of Rudekirk through there, but still expect some close racing, and Rudekirk's not going to lie down with this one. Let's see who's got the biggest under brakes.
Yeah, a bit of a move there from Nathan Coe coming up on the inside of Todd Borden as well. It'll be interesting to see if he gets through at the end of the main straight.
Carrying a lot of pace through this second race of the three-race round 3 in Taupo. Williams again, though, almost unassailable at the front of the field as he takes the checkered flag. Skeets and Rudekirk follow up for 2 and 3. Here's the official finish. Williams in first place, followed by Skeets, Rudekirk and Borden. Great return there for Todd Borden. And a very fast Nathan Coe, but only getting third.
Simon, that was a fantastic start. You got the lead early.
Yeah, no, I did, and got a little bit of a jump on Dale. Managed to hold him out for at least, I think it must have been a lap and a half or 2 laps maybe, which was great, but made one little mistake, and he came up the inside of me into one of the hairpins.
Dale, perfect day for you, 2 from 2.
Yeah, got a shocking starter when he went back. It just bogged down and he was gone, and then I got him through the S's. He sort of muddled around, and there's a hole, so I just put myself in it. A few little battle scars, but no, it was good.
And plenty more battle scars to come as we go to race 3 of round 3 of the KPMG New Zealand Production Car Championship. Don't you go anywhere. Race 3 on a Saturday afternoon for the KPMG New Zealand Production Cars. It's a reverse grid, it's a handicap as well. I'll let Lindsay Dodd explain.
Yeah, the A-Class cars goes off first in reverse grid format, 20-second delay, and then the B-Class cars, the 4-wheel drives.
So the B-Class boys have to show a wee bit of patience and restraint here, and they don't at all. What's going on here?
I'd say Kevin Honus and Trevor Rudekirk weren't thinking when the lights went out and took off on the lights for the A-Class cars.
And no restart required there?
No, doesn't look like it. I think the officials are going to let that go.
So we've got roughly 22 seconds between the two classes of car in the KPMG production series. And expectedly you'll hear the thunder. Here it comes now. And oh dear, brains checking at the door.
Yeah, Kevin Honus and Todd Borden, David Westall having a sandwich there.
And here's Sam Murray getting the lead into that first corner. Looks like he's been squeezed out by Burrows there. Again, very tight racing. Let's have a look at a replay. Oh, that's nasty stuff.
Yeah, Kevin Honus has been in the wars this weekend.
So back to race proper now, and slowly but surely the Class B cars will catch up. Always an interesting race, and the idea is that at the very end of the 8 laps, they'll all converge as one.
Yeah, Craig Stuther's got a great start there from Glenn Archer, the 2 little Integras out the front, Andrew Fox in 3rd, and Zane Coppins in 4th.
And a very different heat space as well for the drivers, knowing they've got the speed to catch these slower guys in the front, but they've really got to concentrate on their own race, and this will look after itself.
Yeah, it has. They've really got, as you say, they've got to concentrate, race their own race, not only to get to the front, but also the traffic. They've got to get through the traffic as well, being a reverse grid.
Yeah, keeping an eye there on Williams, who's been a standout driver so far of round 3. And Simon Skeets there trying to push his way through on Nathan Coe. This could be an interesting battle.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a very, very interesting battle. It's great to see David Pinkerton back. I know the boys put a new centre diff in that car overnight, courtesy of Gary Capper.
And here's an interesting bit of driving in the background. The scooter direct, David Westall. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what's going on here either. The local boy, Glenn Archer. It's very hairy.
Yeah, Glenn Archer having a big moment at the end of the front straight. I wonder if it might have had a bit of a tap there from Andrew Fox.
Of course, being a 2-wheel drive car as well. Not quite as easy to keep on the black stuff. And going back to the Westall situation too, is that a flat tyre?
Yeah, I wonder whether he might have sustained a bit of damage with that coming together with Kevin Honus on the start-finish line.
Plenty of action there at the start of race 3, and ooh, that was close from Co as well. Just dicing with the very edge of the track, and the start-finish straight, and that's our mate Burrows up in the lead. But you've got to take a really different attitude to your driving. It's almost like it's a moving chicane for the fast cars, like Williams and Skeets. Patience is a virtue, or do you have to go all out, Lindsay?
Well, yeah, it's a fine line, isn't it? You've got to have some patience to get through. You can't force your way through and damage your car, but you've got to drive aggressively to get past them, and I think we'll see that from Dale Williams as he tries to get through some of those slower cars.
Well, I'd suggest if I was Williams, see a pass manoeuvre there from McKelvey, that he'd want to collect the points more than anything. So important to finish the race for Williams at this stage after winning the first 2 races of this round.
Yeah, definitely driving with the brain rather than the brawn,
which we've seen some of in this series and we've seen little of in other races.
We see Zane Coppins here coming through the inside of Andrew Fox, trying to get up the inside of him, which I think he will do. Yes, he will do as we go through the top sweeper here.
And that is a pass for second place, but the marauding pack are on their way. Here they come through the remodel corner. What's the fight we've got in here? Skeets and Murray going in the middle of the pack there, I believe.
And look at Dale Williams, left, right, trying to find a way past them as he comes through from the back of the pack.
Still slowly tender, tippy-toes around that corner, not wanting to leave the track, as we said. And let's see who's got the extra horsepower down this back straight. He thinks it's probably the Ray Glass car of Williams.
Yeah, I'm sure Dale will try and find a way through as they come down through that back straight. And see Sam Murray there caught between Dale Williams and Simon Skeets.
And up the front it is Co and McKelvey, and Co's been driving the wheels off that Subaru the last couple of days. Let's see if we can hold on through there. Let's just spin round wide, and yep, they're all being pretty sensible going through that wee complex into the start-finish straight, although Williams is right up the tailpipe of Sam Murray. This could be interesting.
I think he might have been giving him a little message that he's behind, trying to get past as well.
Looks like his message at the moment is, I'm going to drive carefully through this complex, which has taken out its fair share of competitors throughout the class in Taupo over the weekend. Still a long way in this race to be run, though. Williams still in with a charge.
Yeah, this race has run over 8 laps, so, you know, still a bit of time there for Dale.
That dust again that we were talking about being blown over the track, making it difficult for some of the competitors through that complex, but it looks like they're behaving to a degree pretty much line astern at the moment, although McKelvey definitely wants a piece of Co. It's just a matter of when, where and how, I suppose.
Yeah, great battle between Co and McKelvey there. The Subaru and the Evo battling it out for what is effectively really second and third in the class.
And at the moment, Burrows all much by himself, and they're heading the Class Bs, trying to trace down the 5. The Class A cars, of course, are the 2-wheel drive cars.
Change for the lead here, Darcy, as Zane Coppins goes around the outside of Craig Stuffridge.
Nice manoeuvre there from Coppins. Stuffridge doesn't want to let it go, though, and he's right behind him in the race. Here we are on board with Kevin Honus.
Yes, Simon Skeets going very wide and into the dirt there around that top sweeper.
A bit of a lock-up there, but everyone seems to have come through okay as they put the pedal to the metal for the back straight, looking to catch up with the Class A cars, although they are way, way, way in the distance. There's the fight for second place.
Yeah, second and third on the road. I just wonder whether the handicappers might have got it wrong.
The handicapper, I'd say, isn't that you, Lindsay's? We have a replay, the Amiga rental car, Simon Skeets. He kept it on the road, which is pretty good driving, just a little wide there. Kept it under control, no incident, just a bit of dust. Back to the second and third. Now, what were we saying about the handicapper again?
Yeah, well, you know, on paper it should have worked, but just on the track it looks like we may have given Zane a little bit too much.
So next time in Taupo, you would have learned your lesson, would like to think, as the Class B cars languish behind the Class A cars. 2-wheel drive over 4-wheel drive, you got to like that.
Here we have, Todd Baldwin on the infield.
He stuck it, that is the main thing, and look at that as the opportunity Williams was looking for as he sneaks through on the inside of the Winger Subaru, and that's what you've got to do if you're Dale Williams. We're going to have a replay of that action now as well, going very wide, trying to get past the BMW of Jim Bolt. Did very well to hold it on, and Williams doesn't need any more of an opportunity to take it, and he is through.
Yeah, certainly. Oh, and a bit of a touch there as they came through.
And someone else who was through in the distance in the last shot, you could see that Co has taken over the lead from Burrows. And here's Williams dicing with Borden, and Gentleman Jim has to just say, guys, I'll let you go through.
Yeah, Simon Skeets is in the background there as well, and we'll probably see Simon taking Jim Bolt down the back straight.
We're expecting that as they do get to the very far. Here comes Simon Skeets. It wasn't the back straight. After all, Lindsay, great manoeuvre there. Through now into the back straight. Mitsubishi versus Subaru, blue on blue, and a bit of off-road work there as well. We've seen plenty of that this weekend.
Yeah, the boys certainly been pushing the boundaries all weekend, and probably the value of four-wheel drive.
And they'll definitely be pushing their cars now. We are coming up to the last lap. This is where the handicap system works. This is where the B and A class cars start to clash. Looking like they're being reasonably well behaved now, coming into the start finish straight. And as we swing the camera around and look up toward the end, oh dear, looks like Nathan Coe's gone up and passed a few.
Yeah, significant also there seeing Scott McKelvey coming out of pit lane.
Any idea what put McKelvey into pit lane? Not great for his race prospects. We're on board with Honus right behind Sam Murray.
Yeah, Scott was in the pit for a mechanical issue, and it's certainly good to see him going again.
No, this is the interesting period of the race. It is the very last round. Jimmy Bolt there letting McKelvey come through. The very last lap. The boys have got to be careful as the cars start to concertina up. This is where points are made. This is going to be good.
Yeah, David Pinkerton having a good run through on the inside of Jim Bolt as well.
And on board again, the Cop & Co Family Restaurants car number 551 Series BMW. Looking reasonably comfortable. This gentleman Jim, as we can see up the front of the field, the cars started to close in on each other.
Yeah, Jim's in a good solid third place for Class A, so I'm sure he'll be consolidating that on the last lap.
And here's our leader for race 3, Zane Coppins. The car behind him, David Westall, is a lap down, so Zane looks pretty clear. Can he do it again? Can he win the reverse grid race? He's making a habit of doing this so far.
Yeah, Nathan Coe's chasing them pretty hard, and there's a good gap back to the rest of the field.
On board with Dale Williams, he'll be a little confused, battling for fourth. Hasn't happened all weekend.
Yeah, something we don't really see that often is Dale that far back in the field.
Yeah, but I'm sure he'll be only too keen to collect the points, and here comes the Coppins Homes Integra of Zane Coppins into the final run. He is going to get the checkered flag in the reverse grid race, the KPMG Production Car Series. Another great drive from young Coppins.
Yeah, Nathan Coe's going to come through and win Class B and be second overall in that race.
So let's confirm the results of the reverse grid race. Zane Coppins in first, followed by Nathan Coe, Burrows and Williams making up third and fourth. Another good result there for Todd Borden and Simon Skeets.
Tony Burrows, good to get a great result after the race one on the weekend.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weekend. No, pretty happy to get what we, it's really a bit of a result for the rest of the team as much as anything. There's an awful lot of work gone into this car over the last few months, so it's always good to give it a payback.
Zane Coppins, another fine win, but also consolidating your position in the championship.
Yeah, we've got a little lead and halfway through the series, and car was going good and had a few wins, and we're happy.
You have a bit of a battle there in the middle of the race with Todd Borden.
Yeah, he went off the track and spat a whole lot of gravel back on. He had his booter up at 40, he was back rallying, I think.
Todd, an interesting race 3, and a few boys are poking a bit of stick at you.
What was that, mate?
Oh, they say you're firing rocks and over the curbs.
Well, yeah, I might have been, but I think there's quite a few others doing it too. We're pretty aggressive, and you have to be in production racing. It's part of the package, I think. If you go out there and drop them like a whisk, you won't get anywhere. But if you've got to be to make a production car, a legal production car, go fast, you've got to be pretty aggressive.
So here's the points board after round 3 of the Production Car Series. Simon Skeets still on the lead ahead of David Williams, but look at Zane Coppins in a two-wheel drive in there in 5th place. And Jimmy Bolt holding on to position number 9. That is 2 Class A cars in the top 10. And the traditional champagne bath now takes place between our winners of the round, Williams and Coppins. Join us next time as we go to Manfield as the KPMG Production Cars continue.